What's up, guys? I'm Modern Blitz, and this is my Rx-8. Alright, so everything that you're seeing in the car is a paint job. The car was painted by the previous owner that I had, but the issue is he didn't PPF it or prime it right, so it is starting to peel, unfortunately, in like certain spots and corners. But I really like how the black flows. It's like a matte black and a matte red. It's called Hot Rod Black and Hot Rod Red, the name of the colors. But I really like how it like appeals. It's very bright in the sun. I'm not much of a matte color person, but I think it looks very well with this car. It suits it pretty well. I like the black a lot with the the black accents. Sorry, I like them a lot. They kind of make the car have more character to it. And then we have some Japanese, or yeah, I'll show you the other side real quick. But we have some like little stripes in here saying it's an Rx-8. And then if we rotate to the other side of the car, move over here, we have some Japanese characters, basically just showing that, hey, this car's from Japan. There's a little bit of character to it. But we also have Rx-8 here with the little stripes. Yeah, but we'll move on to the interior of the car. So if we go into the interior of the car, the vehicle does have two side doors, so you can have more room to bring people in or put luggage in. The issue is it's not that much space. You probably have enough to put like a car seat, but if you have any tall friends, I don't recommend putting them back here. It might be a little hard. I do have some subs and amplifiers in the back, but these are my speakers that I have set up. This, when I bought the car as well, came with it. I'm still messing with them. They're like a little staticky, you know, and a lot of the notes are the higher notes are kind of a little too loud. So I'm still messing with that and tuning it and adjusting it, but it's definitely a lot better than when I first got it. When I first got it, the guy kind of just had the settings all over the place, and there was like no bass, no nothing. So now I at least have a little bit of bass, but there still can be something changed that help make the sound a little bit better. I do have my fire extinguisher back here, and then you also have a little cubby space storage if you need to store anything in here. I just have zip ties back there for right now, for in case of any emergencies, of course. And then if you ever need to get to your fuel pump, it will always be underneath the seat, so you have easy access to your fuel pump if you need it. And then if we go over here to the center console, we have, I like to call this the hidden compartment. You'll move this over, and then you can lift this up, and you got stuff in storage there. I just have a comb and some mints right now. But that's the hidden compartment. These switches do not have anything hooked up to them yet. They're just kind of dummy switches right now. I do want to hook up like an underglow underneath the steering column and the glove compartment, so I can get some like lighting in there. But it is just like I was saying earlier, it is a 6-speed automatic. And it's also a 6-port, so you have your manual mode to put it in, or you can just put it in drive. I like using paddle shift. I like having more control of the vehicle. But yep, you have your paddles here. You have up on both sides, and then you got down on both sides. So whichever way you prefer, they both do all the same. The car can rev up to, I don't know if you guys can see it off. Let me see if I can turn it on for you. So the car itself can rev all the way up to 9,000 RPMs. I just like pushing it to 8,000 because I don't want to unbalance the motor. The issue with Rotary's engine, the higher you rev them, the higher you can unbalance everything. Unless you get your rotors balanced and the whole motor balanced, then you have more of a chance of pushing higher RPMs. The lower the RPMs, I didn't really do any balancing or anything on this motor, so I try not to push it past 9,000 because I don't want to unbalance the motor. But yeah, there's a touchscreen in here. It's okay. I want to put a better one in there. A Kenwood probably more preferable. This one's alright. The Android Auto is okay in it. I just prefer a little bit more responsiveness and more freedom to tweak audio. The car itself is at 999,000 miles, 999,503 miles. So she's definitely up there in miles, but the engine itself only has like 1,300 on it. So the whole car is kind of new, but not really at the same time. The transmission was also redone, so it also has that many miles. So in a way, it's kind of a new car. Also, coming to the door, I have some tweeters here. You also have your normal up and down power windows, and you have your adjusters for your mirrors up there. I did put little logos in here. You can't really see it very well, but it does say Rx-8 on it. It's just very hard to see it because it's so sunny out right now. But we're going to move on to the engine, and I'm going to talk about that as well. Alright, so coming to the engine, the car does have an aftermarket air intake on it. I'm not sure what brand this is. It's just like when I purchased the car, it came with it. Basically, I know I've said I purchased the car and it came this way a lot. The only thing I've really done with this car so far is rebuilt this engine. I've physically done it myself with someone in town. We tore the whole thing apart, put new apex seals, we put stronger type of seals in there to hold boost. So if I ever want to turbo this car, I can do that. But if we go into the engine itself, I haven't really done too much. I did Bridgeport it. It is Bridgeported. So it will brap, but it needs to be tuned. So the issue is the idle's too low for it to brap, but if I coast it at like 1,200-ish RPMs, it'll go pop, 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 pop. So it's still doing noise, it just needs to be tuned. So moving on to the fans, I did put Mishimoto fan shrouds in. The old fans originally just had cheap $30 ones, so I switched them out with a little bit more expensive like fans that would cool the motor efficiently, because the ones he had in there were just $30 cheapo ones from like Advanced Autos, and he just had it straight to the radiator, so it was not even cooling the engine efficiently at all, and they just stopped working on me. So I put these Mishimoto ones in, and the car has been so much happier since I put them in. And we just recently put AC in it, so it feels good in this 95 Florida degree weather to have AC in it. Because I used to drive it all the time without it, and it was terrible. Like, it was super hot, and especially because it's rotary, so it produces even more heat. But yeah, so I'm glad I got these fans in there. I did put an oil cap on there too, as well, like just to show what engine it is, to give that little bit of a history. And because of people that don't know what a rotary engine is, at least they have a little bit of idea of if they can look it up and be like, oh, that's what this is. Or I can just talk to them about it. Usually that's what I do if I go to car meets and car events. So the transmission lines were also relocated because the radiator that was in here did not have any lines for the automatic transmission. It was more like a manual Rx-8 radiator. So we ended up relocating the lines underneath the car here. We have it going into a radiator up here, but we have the lines coming in underneath the car, so everything is all tied up so it won't drag on the ground. So this is to allow that transmission to cool efficiently because there wasn't any lines going into the actual radiator itself. But I also have my air intake coming in behind it, help cool, get the air in there, get the air in the engine, and cool it. Alright guys, I think that mostly goes over the engine. We're probably making, with the Bridgeport and the straight pipe that I have in the car, we're probably making around 242 horsepower. So which isn't bad. It's definitely a big improvement versus the stock motor. But I think we're going to move on into the trunk, and I want to show you guys what I have going on in there. But this basically sums up the whole engine. I do eventually want to tune it so I can get a little bit more horsepower out of it, and so we can actually get the car to brap, because like I was saying earlier, the idle's too low. So I think that's gonna most likely be my next step once I get a little bit more money saved up. That's probably what I'm gonna do. And then I have a new engine strut bar I got from the junkyard, so I'm probably gonna put that in there. But I want to paint it, so I'm gonna paint it first, and then we'll probably end up putting that in there. I'll probably do a video on me painting it to show you like what I went through trying to paint it and the styling I'm going for. But I'm definitely gonna put that in there to help spruce up the engine bay, give it a little bit more color. But yeah, we're gonna move on to the trunk. Alright, so going in the trunk, we have my amplifiers and we got my subs in here. I don't really know audio very well, so I cannot give you that much information on here. I'm trying to learn audio so I can actually work with my speakers more. But my battery was relocated to this little box here. It's in the trunk now, so out of the weather conditions, just like better environment for the battery, so you're not getting corrosion and stuff on it. And then over here is my premix kit, and then we just have, if I get a flat, just some rags for the oil and funnels. But yep, premix kit. I only premix about for premix I usually do a ounce per 3 gallons, because you don't want to over lubricate the apex seals, because then you're just going to allow more carbon to build up on the motor, resulting in the engine to go out on you a lot sooner. So I usually do a light amount. Now if I'm going to push the car at like a track day or something, I'm definitely going to go a little bit higher, maybe like 2 ounces per 3 gallons. But for the most part I do an ounce per 3 gallons, because the engine itself is already lubricating itself, so you don't want to put too much oil in the combustion chamber to where it's like oversaturating the motor. But that basically sums up the trunk. I don't really have much going on here. I do want to eventually, like I said, I want to get it properly tinted and take this film off that came with the car, because it's just fading. The sun's killing it out here. And then, like I said, I want to eventually paint the car. Probably get new liner here, because this is all peeling as well. But I do want to eventually paint the car, but I want to keep it this style. I don't want to lose this paint style, because I think it's very... it gives it a lot of character, and I would hate for the car to lose its character. So I want to be able to keep this paint style, but I want it done right, like professional. And I want to get a new front end with it that has the spoiler kind of part of the bumper instead of it just hanging so low. Because the issue is over here, it just hangs too low on the ground, and I kind of scrape a lot, and it's starting to peel the paint badly. So I just want to get a better front end for it to make it look a little bit more streamlined and a little bit more sportier. And then coming over to the headlights, I do really like the design in the headlights, and I like the little triangles that they put heritage to like the actual engine, the rotary engine. I think that's really cool and really cute, because they have that in the car as well. They have those in the seats, like the little triangles in the seats. They definitely pay heritage to the motor as well, and then they have it on the hood. So I really enjoy that a lot, and I like how they put a lot of like character and time into making this car. It's definitely a very unique vehicle, and I love seeing these on the road whenever I drive around. Even in my daily economy car, I still like driving around. If I see an Rx-8, I'm like, it's really cool seeing them on the road, because I feel like this engine is kind of forgotten about, and I like seeing it kind of come back now because of all the potentials it has and the character it has and the unique noise it has that not many people know of. It's definitely a very unique car. It's a unique motor. It has a lot of personality, and I really like what Mazda did with it. So I'll give you a little close-up on the tire if you know more about what dimensions and everything of tires. They're 225s by 40 ZR18s AW. And then moving on to the back. So the back of the car, we have 275s, still 18-inch rims. We got 275s by 40 ZR18 99Ws. And they are super seal as well, 595. And also coming to the back of the car, I wanted to keep the original taillights. I just prefer them. I like all the styling and the different shapes and like a little bit of the chrome in there. It just makes the taillights look a little bit more personable than the two circular halo looking ones that a lot of people like putting in the back. But I just wanted to keep them original. It just looks, to me, I like the original styling. It just looks more streamlined with the vehicle. And if you come down here, I did like to put It All Starts With a Dream, because Wankel Rotary engine, Felix Wankel thought of the engine in his dream, and I also just wanted to make a little inspirational quote that'd be like, anything is possible, you just gotta like put your mind to it. And I know that's a little cheesy, but it really is if you guys work hard for it, because I would have never saw myself at all owning this car, being able to do this, because I always played racing games and always saw the Rx-8. I was like, wow, this is cool. But when I actually like start working, I was like, okay, I'm gonna save up for an Rx-8. This is what I want. This is my like affordable dream car. So I 16 started working, worked at Krispy Kreme for my first job, and it helped me. I saved up all the money that I worked throughout high school, and then I was able to get this Rx-8 when I like graduated. So it was definitely a fun project. I loved every minute of this, like driving this car and working on the engine, because when I originally bought it, the engine was about to go out. So I really enjoyed like building it, putting it together. Here, the guy in town, he like races at Rotaries all the time. So the whole experience was like, I was very grateful for it, because I would have never seen myself when I was a kid. Like I'm still pretty young, but like as a younger kid, owning one of these cars and just being able to like be able to actually drive one yourself, to firsthand work on it, to understand how they work and operate. So I really enjoyed that, and that whole experience was fun to me. So this car has like a lot of meaning to me, and I definitely want to keep it and share some experiences with you guys. If I can, like more experiences, go to car meets, I want to be able to share that with you guys. So I definitely look forward to making more videos in the future. This video was just my first time doing YouTube, so I'm very introverted, so I'm trying to become a little bit more extroverted with things and trying to get myself out there. So I appreciate you guys watching and being a part of this video. If there's any things that you can tell me to improve on or go over, feel free to let me know, because I would gladly like to improve on those abilities. So I thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.